What's that? Oh, you're asking about the Mustang. Sure, I can talk about that. Let's see. I bought the Mustang in 1990. It was brand new at the time, just come out. There might have been a handful of miles on her, but for all intents and purposes, she hadn't never been driven. I think it took me no more than maybe 15, 20 minutes to finalize the deal from start to finish. You see, I knew exactly which one I wanted the moment I walked in. In fact, I bought it on my lunch break. Can you imagine that? Oh my, you should have seen the looks on those men's faces when I drove off with the showroom model. What a hoot. I'll never forget it. I was a secretary over at this little advertising firm in San Francisco. I remembered I signed the papers, then drove straight back to work. Even got into the office with a few minutes to spare. Maybe I was driving a bit fast? Who could blame me? I wanted to see what she could do. I remember circling the block a few times, waiting for a parking spot to open up out front. I wanted to be able to see the car after I went inside. I wanted to get a glimpse of her while I typed. Okay, maybe a part of me also wanted the other girls to see me pull up and get out. Sure. When I walked into the building, one of the other secretaries was in the hallway talking loud enough so everyone could hear, including me, about how her family was nothing but a bunch of hard-working Americans, how her great-great-great-uncle or somebody had fought in the Civil War, something about how they had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Now, being the idiot that I was, I don't immediately put two and two together. It's not until later that it starts to dawn on me. It's not until I overhear that same girl whispering to someone else in the break room about how she knows exactly how much money I spent on my car, because it was her very own husband who sold it to me for exactly $20,000 in cash. Apparently, he was so scandalized he just had to call her right away. She says she knows exactly where that money came from because she read about the redress in the papers. She says it's shameful. She says her parents survived the Depression and never once expected nothing from nobody, especially not some handout from Uncle Sam. I remember wanting to march right up to that woman and say something real smart. I wanted to march right up to her and let her know I'm an American-born citizen, God damn it. I was born and raised in the San Francisco fog, and not a day went by I didn't long for that fog after we were taken away. I wanted to explain how we'd survived the Depression too, how hard my family had also worked. And I wanted to tell her how we'd lived in horse stalls. All 7 of us, my mama, papa, and 6 siblings. How we left food behind in the cupboards because we thought we'd be back in a few weeks. How my father, whenever one of us complained about the dust storms or the cold, how he would say, "Just be thankful we're together." I wanted to tell that woman how they separated my mother from us because she'd once taught Japanese to bring in a little extra income before we were born. I wanted to tell her how when they took Mama away, we children didn't know why or where or for how long she was going. How all we knew was our Mama was gone. The youngest one of us, my little brother Benji, was only 2 years old. He would reach out for her at night, still trying to nurse. I'd rock him until he stopped crying and fell back to sleep. I wanted that woman to know how we never saw my mother again, how she died of a heart attack in isolation, how at camp, my father would stare off into the distance. Not a single one of us ever the same after that. But instead of saying any of those things, I decide not to say anything at all. Instead of marching up to her, I sneak out the back stairs and drive away as fast as I can shift gears. And when I get home, I sit in that beautiful car and I cry, and I cry, and I cry. And when I'm done crying, that's when I know, right then and there, who I really am, and who I always wanted to be, and who I never would become if I held too tightly onto the past. So I let it go, poof, just like that. Everything except for the car, of course.